Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot, oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here are your supernatural hosts, Patricia Baker and Becky Andreasen. Supernatural Girlz.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girlz. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and I am here with my fabulous co-host, world-renowned numerologist, Patricia Kirkman. Hello, Patricia.
Well, hello, my darling. How are you? Are you under the weather yet, or is it cool?
We're sitting right under a field of thunderstorms. It's going to be an exciting night. I guarantee it.
Good point for mystery.
Yes, it is. And we're going to be awakening our third eyes tonight. So it's the mystery of... If you hear a lot of clicks on the phone, it's because I'm being struck by lightning. So I just wanted to let you know that that's what that is, and it may awaken my third eye.
Well, I certainly hope so. I don't want to settle for anything other than just that.
That's right. That's right. This is what we're here to learn about, and it's one of my favorite topics. So I cannot wait to talk to our incredible guest, quite an accomplished woman, Dr. Susan Shumsky, who has generously agreed to give of her time and come on the show tonight. So we're going to bring her on in just a few minutes, but my goodness, thunderstorms everywhere around us here in New England. They're predicting hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, so it's going to be quite something. So if I disappear for some period of time, Patricia, you can just take the show and run with it while I struggle to find an open line and get back on.
You better get back on in a hurry, because my third eye's a little foggy. I don't have a glass on it yet.
I'll do my best. I absolutely promise. Good. I'll do my best.
Right.
Yeah, so what's it like there in Tucson?
Well, actually, it's overcast. It's a little sunny. It's a little muggy, but for the most part, it is. It feels like it could change and do a little raining here.
Wow.
Strange.
In the desert, no less. My goodness.
Well, we're entitled once in a while.
You are. You have to get your water, too. That's right.
That's right. Everybody's under depressed circumstances. No water.
No water is not a good thing. I don't think I'd like that.
Nope.
So it's good that you get your rain now and then, but we're definitely getting it, and we really needed it. We haven't had it in a long time, and I'm quite sick of dragging heavy hoses out around all the gardens to make sure all the little plants are happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy when I have to drag these hoses back and forth. So thank you, Mother Nature. We are happy to see the rain. So, anyways, we've got some interesting things to talk about tonight. Now, somebody called us today. Actually, Samantha called us today, and she told us about this Charlie challenge, which is so weird.
That's strange.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah, I looked at it and I'm going, but there's nothing new under the sun. We keep finding out more and more things that are out there, and it's one of those kind of tongue-in-cheek, yes, no, maybe, not sure.
And it's the thing that people really shouldn't be messing with, in my humble opinion. It's the kind of thing that really could conjure up the wrong entity.
Energies, yes.
Yeah. And
I kept thinking of the fact of the Ouija board. That in itself kind of has always set me off a bit, because of what you can bring in, what you don't want to bring in, and you don't have control over. So Charlie, I keep thinking of that. Chucky is a nickname for Charlie in that movie, that spook movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, So now they're calling him Charlie, so we don't realize how bad he really is.
I think you're onto something here. And for those of you who haven't heard about this yet, it is this, apparently, through the use of two pencils, you can summon this Mexican demon and freak out your friends and post your own challenge on social media with this. And again, it's, I think, something people shouldn't be toying with. They don't know what they're calling in, and once they got something there, they don't know how to get rid of it. And believe me, you can have something visit you that you decide was a bad idea, and then what do you do?
Like a bad date.
Yes, and even Susan talks about this in her fabulous book, Awaken Your Third Eye, which we're going to be talking about shortly. She talks about this, that, why would, I believe the quote was, why would you invite a vagrant into your home? You don't want that. You want only the best who have the highest intention for you on your spiritual path, and to call this in to your life, not knowing really what you're doing or what you're going to get from the other side is a big mistake. So my advice, everybody, stay away from this one.
I agree.
Away.
It's a little too much of a grab bag. You don't know what you're going to pull through the pocket.
No, and I mean, the other thing I don't like about this, not only is that you're summoning a demon, which is kind of a bad thing right off the hop, but the other thing is they say that you have to ask permission to stop.
Oh, dear.
So if you don't get permission from this entity to stop, you have to keep going. I mean, right there, that's kind of, again, another red flag. Mm-hmm. You really shouldn't be involved with those kinds of things where you're giving the control over to some unknown entity that doesn't have your best interest at heart, more than likely.
Well, it feels threatening.
It does. It does.
I mean,
the only good part is I'm heartened to know people are so interested in the paranormal, but you have to, not poke things with a stick.
That's right. We have to be selective about what we look at and what we do and what we touch.
Yes, and so be selective, everybody. Don't get involved with these crazy things that can turn dangerous on you. So
that's right.
And Susan is going to be addressing how to identify entities and things like that, because all of that's in her book, Awaken Your Third Eye. But first we're going to talk about numbers. What do we got coming up, Patricia?
Lots of change coming up tomorrow.
Ooh.
Lots of change. And it's going to be good in one respect, but it's like a tug-of-war, because the month itself wants us to do everything by the book. And tomorrow says, oh, forget it, I want to break free, I want to get away, I want to do different things. And all that's well and good, but there's going to be some interesting things that take place over the next 5 days, because we're leaving a month going into a new one, so that always puts us on a bridge point. But on top of that taking place, all about looking at making things changeable, like the day is going to be tomorrow, that's the month we're going into next month. So it's kind of wrapping up some things. So pay attention on the road, because you're going to find speeders, those that are in a hurry. They don't care if you're at the grocery store. They'd just as soon run over the back of your heel with their cart than let you get in front of them.
I hate that when that happens.
Woo.
Yeah,
and that's what you're going to see tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Everybody's in a hurry but you, by their standards.
I see.
It will be interesting. But it does have a luck factor to it, so if you're someplace and you want to do a little gambling or take a flyer on maybe a little bet here or there, there's nothing wrong with trying that out, but I would keep it to a minimum. It's kind of a day, if you think about Kenny Rogers' song, The Gambler. Mm-hmm. No one to hold him and no one to fold him. If you do that, you'll have a good day.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, are we still in Mercury retrograde, too? I have to ask.
Of course we are, darling, until after the 18th of June.
Yikes.
So anything to do with communication can and will get messed up. Anything to do with, my garage door opener broke yesterday. I had to get it fixed. It was electric chip. So someone else called me today. Their phone went out. So anything to do with electronics, computers, the best you're going to do with communication is face-to-face and pray that it's understood. It's just going to be kind of like it's taking a ride on the wild side.
Oh, gosh. Well, we are wrapping up also as we take this ride on the wild side with Blog Talk. We only have a few more shows left to do here. That's right. And then we are moving our broadcast venue over to Inception Radio Network. And that will begin actually one day before the end of retrograde, so let's hope it goes well. That is June 17th. And for all of our listeners, easy transition. We're just going to provide the same links we always provide. It'll just be to our show at inception. So you'll click on the same links, and it'll bring you right to us. Same time, 7:30 to 9 on Wednesday, Eastern Time, same station in terms of we're going to be talking about the paranormal that we love so much. So anyway, so this is, now I'll tell you what, I love this book because, again, this is one of my favorite topics, Patricia, the third eye.
Well, it's
being
been fascinating.
open.
Absolutely fascinating.
Yes. So I want to know more about this, and we've got the expert coming up, and she, again, is an extremely accomplished lady, and her name is Dr. Susan Shumsky. She has dedicated her life to helping people take command of their lives in highly effective, powerful, and positive ways. She is an award-winning author of 11 books, including The Power of Chakras, The Power of Auras, and Ascension. I mean, again, she's written so many fabulous books. So, but again, she's very knowledgeable. She's been doing things in the spiritual field for over 50 years, very dedicated to helping all of us. And she's on the show with us tonight, and I hope I've got her live. Susan, welcome to the show.
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can.
Yay.
We're excited. Very excited.
Now, are you having thunderstorms where you are or not?
Yeah, I'm in Denver right now, and yes, I hear the thunder.
Oh gosh! Well, if you get dropped off the board, then just call us right back. And again, it's a privilege to have you with us. What a great book you've written about the third eye. This is, and what an amazing person you are. You've been on quite a spiritual journey yourself.
Yes, I've been practicing spiritual disciplines almost 50 years, since 1967, yes.
Absolutely fabulous.
And
I love the book because it's like a how-to. You direct how to get to the different areas and how to understand them, which is fabulous, just fabulous.
Yes, it's chock full of great information, things that people can, little exercises, meditations, people can do these things easily at home. But first of all, Susan, tell us a little bit more about your path, because you are a very fascinating woman. How did you get involved in this stuff?
Well, it was the 60s. I was a hippie. I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area. I was a flower child, and probably your listeners don't realize this, but those of us who were flower children at that time, we were really very serious about developing spiritually. We were serious about experiencing spiritual enlightenment. We wanted to experience of the inner beingness. And I was reading the Buddhist scriptures. I was reading Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. I was reading The Way of Zen by Alan Watts. And in the book, The Way of Zen, Alan Watts was telling people that they need to find a meditation guide. Well, in 1966 in Berkeley, California, you didn't look for a meditation guide in the yellow pages or anything remote to that. I mean, so I asked a roommate, I said, well, how do I find this meditation guide? And he said, have you ever tried to meditate on your own, just by yourself? And I said, well, okay, I'll give it a shot. Why not? So I lay down on my bed. I didn't even know that you're supposed to sit up when you meditate. I lay on my bed and I sort of prayed for or asked for a meditation. Immediately I was propelled into an ecstatic state. I felt a cord or rush of energy rushing from the tips of my toes all the way to the top of my head. I felt like I was plugged into an electric socket, but in a very ecstatic way. So I thought, well, gee whiz, I guess this must be meditation. You know, I didn't know any better. Little did I know that I had not only just had my first meditation experience, but my first Kundalini awakening all at the same time. So it wasn't too long after that before I found myself in the meditation center of Transcendental Meditation, which was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's organization, Transcendental Meditation, and he was the guru of the Beatles and the guru of Deepak Chopra. So when I saw his picture on the wall in the meditation center, I immediately felt this tremendous affinity towards him. And so I learned meditation as soon as I could. I had to wait for a long time, like 6 months or something, to be able to even learn because there were no teachers in the area. But eventually I did learn, and then I ended up going to India at the age of 22. I went to India and studied on the banks of the Ganges River with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And I was with him for 6 months at that time. And then not too long after that, I joined his personal staff. I was with him for 7 years on his personal staff. I was in his ashrams, his various learning centers. That's what an ashram is. I was in his various ashrams for 22 years in my youth. And so that was a very profound experience for me. And it's quite something.
Well, it's, I'm jealous because the very first meditation experience you have, and you're lying down, you mentioned, which is you're not supposed to. You're supposed to sit up. And here you are. You're lying down, and boom, you have a Kundalini experience. That is so amazing.
Definitely well prepared.
I mean, that's something that people train for years and still can't get there. And here you had this happen so spontaneously. What an amazing experience for you. So you must have known you were on the right path.
Yeah, I guess so.
and I got to ask you this, though, about India, because a lot of people bring this up. A lot of people that we've had on the show and some of their friends and loved ones have gone to India for an enhanced spiritual experience and to study. But yet there's so much squalor in India. And so many people say, what the heck are you going, why do people go there? I mean, so many people live in abject poverty. There's tremendous disease. You're going to come back with amoebas from the water no matter what you do. It's like, why do people go there for spiritual enlightenment? Can you help us out with that?
I think you just answered your own question. People go there for spiritual enlightenment. They don't go there to, have a luxurious experience. They go there to meet the great saints and yogis of India. India is the repository of wisdom for this entire planet. I mean, if you didn't have the saints and sages of India, this planet would be in a very sorry state. All the ancient wisdom comes from India. And so, if you really want to have the experience of deep spirituality and spiritual enlightenment, India is the source of that. So whether you get that over the internet or whether you get that by actually going there, or if you get it from a book that you read that wisdom is contained in that book, it's from India. That's where it comes from. That's why people
that's
go.
Kind of the heart of all of this. And you spent 7 years in India, or just 7 years with the Maharishi?
Okay, Maharishi had ashrams all over the world. Those 7 years that I was on his personal staff, I was in India. I'm sorry, correct that. I was in Europe, and mostly in Switzerland.
Nice.
I was in Switzerland. It was beautiful surroundings. It was fabulous.
That had to be really heavenly, Switzerland. That's lovely.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a master at meditation, and again, I hear all the time, and I have to raise my hand to this. It's not the easiest thing for Americans to learn to do. So, do you have any advice for those of us who are kind of not good meditators?
I need somebody to hold my hand through it.
It's easy if you take a deep breath. So really all you need to do is you just sit down in a chair, you close your eyes, you take a few deep breaths, you get quiet and centered and still within yourself, and then you take some more deep breaths, you get even quieter, more still, get really quiet, still, and take more deep breaths. You notice I'm emphasizing taking the deep breaths. So when you take the deep, that takes you into another state of awareness. It takes you much deeper. And the more deep breaths you take, the deeper you're going to go. And then when you get into a state where you're centered, where you're feeling centered and balanced and still and relaxed and at peace, then you do something that most people do not do in meditation. And that is you ask. You ask a question, or you ask for guidance, or you ask for inspiration, or you ask a question of your higher self. And then you take another deep breath and you go even deeper. And then you receive what it is that you have asked for. So the type of meditation that I teach is about asking and receiving. And my motto is ask and it shall be given unto you.
I like that.
I do too.
Yeah, I like it because it feels like a more active meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yes, it is, and it really works. It's very powerful.
So, please tell us. Now, I think I know the answer, but maybe I don't. Why would people want to awaken their third eye? Why should we do this?
Well, awakening your third eye is really, really very important because it has so many advantages. Number one, the third eye is the center of spiritual awakening. It's the center of spiritual enlightenment. So if you want to attain higher states of consciousness, the third eye is the key to that. Secondly, the third eye is the center of sensory perception or subtle sensory perception, whatever you want to call that. And so if you want to have experiences most people call it ESP, but that's actually a misnomer because you cannot have any experience without using the senses. But if you want to develop your subtle sensory perception and be able to see things hidden from view and to also be able to connect with divine beings who are much smarter than our egos are and who can answer our questions and give guidance and wisdom and knowledge, then the third eye is the key to that. Because the third eye is the place where these divine beings reside and where you can communicate with them. So that's incredibly powerful. If you can communicate with divine beings, deities, angels, archangels, ascended masters, and so on, then you can receive inner guidance. And inner guidance is really the key to having a very fulfilling and joyous life because it's about following your true divine destiny and purpose. It's about staying on track with what's highest wisdom for you to do at any given moment. And that's an incredibly, incredibly powerful life when you are listening within and following what is highest good and highest wisdom for you and making your decisions with peaceful confidence, knowing that you're on the right path, knowing that you are taking the right road. So it's really, really incredible, and I really advocate people being in touch with their inner guidance.
And it's wonderful that you do this kind of work because we all need that support to keep going within and unhooking ourselves from the drama of our lives and the things that pull us down and lead us into horrible places. I mean, we really need this type of a gateway that can allow us to have these profound communications, and this is, I believe, what you're saying about the third eye. Now, do you think of it as a gateway, or is it something else?
Well, the third eye, you mean?
Yes.
The third eye is one of our chakras. The chakras are a part of our subtle energy system, which is in our subtle body. We have this gross physical body, and then we also have a subtle body. And our subtle body is made up of several different layers. One of those layers is called the pranamaya kosha. That's a Sanskrit word, which means the sheath of life force energy. So it's your energy body, basically. And that energy body consists of pranic energy. Prana is life force energy. In India, they call it prana. In China, they call it chi. And in Japan, they call it ki. So this life force energy is flowing through your subtle energy body, and it is giving you life. In the ancient scriptures of India, it is said that when prana is in the body, that is defined as life, and when prana leaves the body, that is what is defined as death. So prana gives you motion, gives you life, gives you heat. When you die, there's no motion, no heat, no energy flowing through the body anymore. So it's the pranic body is giving you life. And prana flows through specific conduits of energy. In India, they call them nadi, and in China, they call them meridians. So there are also plexuses where many of these energy conduits come together in a plexus. and that's called chakra in Sanskrit, and in China they call that acupuncture point. So these are the subtle energy plexuses, and one of them is called Agya chakra. That's your third eye. Your third eye is the Agya chakra. It's also known as the sixth chakra or the brow chakra. So,
well, let me ask you a couple questions, because I've seen all different kinds of people, mediums, psychics, and people who weren't any of those things, all of a sudden have this awakening. And different manifestations start to happen with them, whether they can speak to people of past or they can see energy or whatever. But for some of them, it just seems to be spontaneous, that they weren't maybe even on this path, but they weren't doing even any meditation, and suddenly this occurs. How does that happen?
Well,
the easy way.
Nothing happens because of nothing. Everything is causative in this universe. So either in this lifetime or in a past lifetime, this person has done the work that they need to do in order for them to awaken spiritually. It's just like, for example, if you're learning to play the piano. It takes time and practice to learn to play the piano.
Right.
And there are child prodigies who can learn really, really quickly, and they seem to have this natural talent as a piano player or whatever the talent happens to be. This is because of past life experiences. It's because they've been doing this for a much longer time than they realize. So these talents that we acquire in our lifetime carry with us from lifetime to lifetime. They don't just disappear upon death. Actually, nothing happens at death except for the body stops working. The mind, the ego, the soul, every other part of your being, your intellect, continues on into your next lifetime. So all of your skills that you've acquired continue, even though you don't remember, you don't have the memory of the past lives necessarily, but the skills are just there. And so they can be easily acquired again, or they seemingly spontaneously arise. There's nothing spontaneous.
That makes a lot of sense, Susan, and that's the best answer I've ever heard to that.
A lot of things make a lot of sense, Patricia, when you believe in reincarnation.
Good point.
Yes. I can appreciate everything you're saying with that. Yeah, and now there's another way that people can achieve this opening where someone else, like an enlightened master, can help them with that. Can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Yes, there is a transference of energy that can come from a really genuine spiritual enlightened master to his or her disciple. And some people call it darshan. Darshan is a Sanskrit word that means sight. It's the sight that you get when you are in contact with that saint. You see the sight of the saint sees you, the transference comes through the eyes and so on. And it's also known as Shaktipat, where there's actually a transfer of energy from the master to the disciple that comes energetically. And what does it feel like? It feels like a wave of bliss, actually, is how it feels. And when you're in the presence of a true enlightened being, these waves of bliss can come to you, and you can experience them for yourself. It's very difficult to describe it to somebody who's never experienced it, but you just feel a wave of bliss. It's into your being, and it feels like love, kind of, I think would be the best way to describe it. It feels like love. You feel like you're being loved more than you've ever experienced love, ever, ever, ever. It's really amazing.
It sounds it. And so when this happens, and it is possible then with Shaktipat or any other, what was the other one that you mentioned that has a special name? Yeah, darshan. That either it has the potential to, like somebody like Patricia, if she wanted to go to experience this, they could touch her, and she could actually possibly have the experience of her third eye opening.
Yes, I mean it's possible that there many things can happen with this transference of energy. You can become more serene. You can have an experience of the third eye opening. You could experience inner peace. You could experience expansion of consciousness. Many things come from this transference of energy. It's really powerful.
Yeah, so it sounds like it goes where it needs to go, and then you have the experience you're meant to have. So it's different for everybody.
Right.
Just having the peace of mind would be absolutely fabulous to be able to step into that space.
Well, that can come from meditation also, the peace of mind. You don't have to have a spiritual master, or you don't have to go to India. You can have that just from taking a few deep breaths and getting quiet.
Well, I'm going to have to start breathing a lot then.
Well, and also, you're right about the breath too, Susan, because I know, and I'm sure you're very well aware of all the studies that have been done, that when you breathe deeply and you breathe a certain way, I guess it's in through the nose and out through the mouth, that the hemispheres of your brain actually start to line up and have an equality of energy.
Coherence of brainwave functioning, yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So you're talking about breathing, and there's actual science backing up what you're saying for people who like that kind of thing. But we certainly know, just from our experience on the show and doing some of these techniques, that the breathing you're right, it makes a huge difference.
It does. You'll
and a lot of people.
It settles you down. You become quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize it, but they're caught in fear breathing, which is shallow breathing. And it just makes you feel very ungrounded and very anxious, and it's a state that's hard to get out of unless you change your breathing.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because in some of my books, like my book, The Power of Chakras, and my book, The Power of Auras, I teach people how to do proper yogic breathing. And there's three kinds of breathing. There's breathing done from the upper chest, which is the shallow breathing you're talking about. Breathing done from the middle chest, which is kind of how in the West we learn to breathe, which is the athletes kind of, maybe not anymore, but it used to be. The athletes would use that kind of breathing, and the chest breathing. And then there's the lower breathing, which is a diaphragmatic breathing that a lot of singers use, and that sort of thing. But yogic breathing actually encompasses all of those three, lower, middle, and upper breathing. So that's a full yogic breath. And this has to do with opening your breathing and your awareness to using all those three areas of the lungs. And I do teach that in two of my books. I teach that in The Power of Chakras and in The Power of Auras.
So many things we think are automatic, like the breathing, and there's so many different ways of working with this. And as you're talking about the three different areas to work from, we just automatically think when we're breathing, it should cover everything, but it doesn't until you do it properly.
Well, it's just a way of using something called pranayama, which is breathing exercises that are taught, and the yogis teach that. In India, they teach you how to breathe properly. But you can learn it from a book. You don't have to go to India, like I said.
Yay!
I'm off to the library and get my book.
Yeah, we are so grateful. Yeah, and everybody, this book, again, the title is Awaken Your Third Eye, How Accessing Your Sixth Sense Can Help You Find Knowledge, Illumination, and Intuition. Great book by Dr. Susan Shumsky. It's available on your bookstores and on Amazon.com. This is just, we're going to continue this conversation, but we're going to take a very short break, so everybody stay with us, and hopefully the storm will pass overhead for both of us, for Susan, for you, for me here, and Patricia, you're in the clear in Tucson, so we're not going to worry about you right now. Yeah, that's great. Okay, everybody, and if you have a question for Susan, please call in at 646-478-0828. Again, that's 646-478-0828, or you can write it in the chat room, and we will ask it on your behalf. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back.
this is Veronique Raskin, founder of the Organic Wine Company. As one of the pioneers of the organic wine movement, since 1980 I have brought you the very best and most authentic organic wines directly to your table. I work with small family estates who grow certified organic grapes and produce exceptional wines. You can purchase our wines individually from our website at theorganicwinecompany.com or join one of our wine clubs. Our organic wines are perfect for you and for your family as gifts for friends and relatives, and they are simply spectacular for the holidays. Visit us at theorganicwinecompany.com to enjoy the very best organic wines conveniently delivered to your door. I am Veronique Raskin, passionate about my mission. I offer to you vegan, organic, and biodynamic wines, wines made by people of the heart, wines with a heart. Au revoir. Call us at 1-888-ECO-WINE.
Are you searching but not sure what for? Does happiness seem like it's always around the corner, or perhaps fleeting? Life can seem like you're winning on the outside, but on the inside, you might be running on empty. Well, it's high time to rendezvous with your soul. Imagine being able to let go of emotional baggage effortlessly and have less mind chatter, freeing you up to be present to your beautiful, magnificent self. Wouldn't that be nice? More silence and the ability to hear your own true voice within, to be where life is, and joy and love is your natural state. This is all possible with Cosmic Fusion's 5D++ Awakening and Transformation Workshop, which will bring the quantum vortex, scalar wave, photon pulse in your life, the all-knowing, all-powerful, and ever-present mother of all frequencies and vibrations. This energy signature, direct from Source, is then available 24/7 to upgrade your potential to infinity and support you through exciting and profound shifts. This is something that cannot be explained. It simply must be experienced. But don't take our word for it. Visit our website for some life-transforming video and written testimonials shared right from the heart. So don't wait and visit CosmicFusion.com. That's KOSMICFUSION.com. www.cosmicfusion.com to find out more. Your soul is awaiting your transformation.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Everyone, and pardon me for clearing my throat in your ears. I didn't mean to do that. But anyways, we are having a very lively conversation this evening. I'm learning so much, and I'm here with Patricia Kirkman, my co-host, and, of course, our incredible, accomplished guest, Dr. Susan Shumsky, who is the author of many books. But tonight we are talking about Awaken Your Third Eye, how accessing your sixth sense can help you find knowledge, illumination, and intuition. I want them all. So,
me too.
You too, Patricia? I know you're dying for this too.
I'm so excited because of the different parts that I read in the book today, I feel that there's hope for me to be able to get into these things and learn more about them because of how she made this sound. Oh.
Now, we all can't be prodigies that lie down and have Kundalini experiences, Susan, on the first go. However, you're giving us hope here with the book, like Patricia said, that we too can someday achieve this. Now, I do have a question for you from the chat room. Somebody wrote in and they said, what if you can't get there in deep meditation or your mind won't let you? That's what she says. Does that mean you have a block?
Well, there's two reasons why you don't get into deep meditation, two possible reasons. Number one, you're on the surface level, you're not deep enough. Or number two, there is a blockage of some kind. And the blockages, there's several kinds of blockages. One would be negative thoughts and emotions. Another would be psychic ties, meaning influences from people or things around you. Another would be facade bodies, which would be your own beliefs about yourself and this sort of habits and conditioning that you have that's very strong, that's like an armor that you wear. Another one would be entities from the astral world that are on a subtler level, but not the spiritual world. So there's four basic places that you might be in contact with when you are in a state where you're going into the inner realm. Okay, there's the spiritual realm, the mental realm, the astral realm, and the environmental realm. So the place that, of course, if you're in deep meditation, if you're really experiencing deep meditation, you're in the spiritual world. Otherwise, you're in one of these other realms. And so what I teach in my book, not just Awaken Your Third Eye, but in several of my books, especially in the two books, Divine Revelation, and in the book How to Hear the Voice of God. In those books, I teach you how to deal with these problems of not being able to go deep in meditation or not being able to get clear meditation experiences. And what I teach is specific healing prayers that you would do in the middle of meditation. You know, if you're not going deep, you just do one of these healing prayers to help you go deeper. And, you know, take some deep breaths after you do the healing prayer, and you'll be good to go. You'll be able to go into a deeper meditative state. Another thing you can do is to call upon a divine being to help you to go deeper. You can always call upon a deity or a divine being like an angel, archangel, or ascended master to help you to go deeper. So there's many different ways that you can allow yourself to experience deeper states of awareness and really contact the spiritual plane.
And again, I really like your recommendations for people who are not experiencing a deep enough meditation, because it can get frustrating for people to meditate, and then, of course, the mind starts flying around doing its thing, and you can get frustrated because it's hard to make it settle down, and there's a real art to all of this. But being able to recite a prayer or call upon a deity, I think that's a wonderful way of working through this. Fabulous suggestion, Susan. Really, really good.
It really works.
Go ahead.
It really, really works. And after you've done that, just take some deep breaths and go back into the meditation. The deep breaths will take you deeper.
I am going to be doing this because it makes a lot of sense. Doesn't that make sense to you, Patricia?
It definitely does. You know, if we make it so much more difficult for ourselves, I guess that it needs to be.
Well, yeah. No fun to meditate if you're not going deep. What's the point?
That's
exactly.
True. That's true.
You're just feeling like a failure sitting there listening to your crazy mind. So, yeah, this is
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
We do that many more times than we need to. So this is a great alternative, and I think that this is a great answer to the question from the chat room about this. Now, somebody else has written in. They want to know how you experienced, Susan, your third eye opening. What was it like for you?
I don't know that I really noticed a time when my third eye suddenly opened. It wasn't sudden or anything like that. I think that I've always had some sense of some. Actually, let me put it this way: everybody has clairvoyant, clairaudience, and clairsentient abilities. Everyone does. We use it when we're dreaming at night, you know. But also, for example, if you just walk into a room, for example, or walk into a house, and suddenly you feel, you kind of have a sensing about that vibration in that house. Does it feel warm and friendly? Does it feel like somebody's just been arguing in there? Does it have a really dense, horrible vibe? If you go into a mental institution, or you go into a nursing home, or you go into a prison or a bar, you're going to feel or sense this heavy vibration. If you meet someone for the first time, that person, you might feel that person's really open, that person's really angry, that person's really closed off, uptight, or that person is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
The person is open-hearted, loving. You get a warm feeling from that person. You get a cold feeling. That person's standoffish or defensive, maybe. You even get a defensive. We read people. Everybody does this. We all have subtle sensory perception.
Right,
and
we do.
It isn't like suddenly you're going to see a big burst of light in your eye or something. You have it. You already have it, but you can develop it more. And I definitely give a lot of techniques in my book, Awaken Your Third Eye, and in my other books as well that I just mentioned, Divine Revelation and How to Hear the Voice of God. In all these books, I teach you how to develop your subtle sense perception more and more. And there are very simple techniques that you can do to help you do that. Many very simple techniques in this book, Awaken Your Third Eye. Also, a lot of methods in my book, The Power of Auras. It teaches you how to see auras and how to develop that third eye ability. So, you know, we all have it, and it isn't like somebody has to knock you over the head, some guru or something. You can develop this yourself.
Well, that's good. Again, it's you're making it much more accessible for so many people with your great ideas here, and this is what we need. You know, we need to know how.
The way she puts it out.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier. So yeah, this is all good, really good stuff, and it's usable. You know, something we can start tonight, right?
Absolutely. There's many, many techniques in my book, Awaken Your Third Eye, that you can just start practicing immediately. It's so simple.
Now, here's a question for you. You talk in your book about how to identify, because you're calling forth the deity for help, which is great thing. But how do you know who you're getting? And we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the show, when people are doing these crazy things on social media, and they really don't know who they're calling in. But for these situations, you know, how does somebody identify them? How do they ask who's coming and what their real name is and all that? Is there a way to do this?
Yes, there is, as a matter of fact. In my book, Awaken Your Third Eye, I have an entire chapter on that. And let's see, look it up in the contents. So I'll tell you what chapter it is. It's the chapter called Navigating the Inner Realms Safely. So in that chapter, you learn the 10 tests, the 10 parts of the test. Actually, I should call it, instead of calling it 10 tests, because you have to use all 10 tests in order for it to be effective. So yes, I have a system. You can learn how to distinguish and discern between the true voice of spirit and other voices in your mind, how to test whether the message you're getting is the real thing. Who is giving you this message? Is it truly a divine being? Is it a deity? Is it an angel or archangel? Is it your higher self? Is it a loved one who has passed over and gone into the light and is on the other side? Is it an astral entity who is trying to deceive you or be mischievous or playful or malevolent? Is it actually a demonic kind of being that's talking to you? Is it your own wishful thinking? Is it your ego that's getting in the way? It's very important to know who or what is giving you a message. And in my book, Awaken Your Third Eye, in this chapter, Navigating the Inner Realm Safely, you'll learn how to do that. I can't do it. I can't teach it on a radio interview. It takes too long to teach it. It's a 3-hour class. So,
well, you bring me to another great question about you, and that is, do you so you offer classes for people, and do you do these over the internet so people can do this no matter where they live?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's
Often,
great.
I do a lot of these telesummit things where it's a kind of a free interview, and then you can download my classes, actually, which are downloadable, and you can get them that way. And in order to learn more about that, subscribe at drsusan.org. Just subscribe on my website, drsusan.org, and you can take these classes online. I mean, you can download the files, actually, and take the classes, or you can read the books. You know, the books also teach you the same kinds of things, but they're not live. They're not me talking and teaching class. But you can get these classes, yes, and I do teach them. And so that's really a powerful way to learn. Also, I do live events. I have another website. It's called divinetravels.com. That's DIVINETRAVELS.com. If you subscribe there on that website, you'll be notified about different classes that I'm doing all the time that are done live. I do, for example, cruise ship seminars. I do take people on tours to sacred places, and there's just a lot. There's not much on the website at any given time because these are events, and that you will be notified if you subscribe there so that you'll know about what's coming up. I have several coming up this year, but, that won't give you what's the information about next year, or even
Sure.
later
Well,
this year.
okay, so it's drsusanshumsky.org, right?
No, drsusan.org.
Oh, just drsusan.org. Okay. And do you also do individual sessions? Let's say somebody wanted your help with awakening or balancing their chakras or any of these things. Do you do private sessions as well?
One kind of private session. Actually, I do more than one, but you have to take the one before you can do any others. It's called the Divine Revelation Breakthrough Session. And if you go to drsusan.org and you click on the link to CDs, DVDs, and to the products page, then you can register for a personal session. Yes, I do those.
Oh, wonderful.
You do it all. Well, this is, again, very helpful to people who are on this path and need some extra support or just some information. Again, you have so many wonderful books that you've written. And now here's another question that's coming out of the chat room. What if your chakras are out of balance and one of them, like your third eye, suddenly opens? Then what? It can be uncomfortable, can't it?
I do not understand this question. And I'll try to explain why. Your chakras are either open or more open or more open. The chakras are the energy centers that are actually regulating your subtle and your gross physical body. If you didn't have your chakras operating, you'd be dead. So either you're in good health or you're sick, basically. So the chakras, I don't know, people have all kinds of weird ideas about what chakras are. Chakras are associated with your endocrine glands, and chakras are plexuses of life force energy that's keeping you alive and keeping your heart beating and keeping your digestion flowing and all of the things, all of the different regulatory systems of your physical body are being monitored and controlled by your subtle body. And your chakras are part of that system. So I don't understand the person's question because there's no such thing as balanced or unbalanced or this or that. It's either that you're healthy and you have open and healthy and prana flowing really well through the chakras and throughout your entire energy system, or prana not flowing so well, causing you to be sick.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I know there's a lot of things written on the internet, and there's a lot of YouTube pieces on balancing your chakras. So, yeah, a lot of it may be misinformation.
Yeah, there's a lot on the internet. How authentic it is. I wrote a book called The Power of Chakras. When I wrote that book, I was asked to write it by my publisher, and when I wrote it, I went back to the ancient scriptures of India to find the most authentic information that I could find about the subject. That authentic information is in that book, and in that book I talk about the 14 chakras that are mentioned in the ancient scriptures of India, and that are very much detailed in the ancient scriptures of India. So those chakras are all extremely important, and they are regulating your whole system. And whatever other people are writing about, some of it accurate, some of it, I don't know, something they found out from a New Age seminar that they took on a weekend. I mean, this is ancient knowledge. This is knowledge from Ayurvedic medicine. This is real. This is not, some fluffy New Age something. It's real, and it's an entire system of medicine. These subtle energies and everything. There is an entire system of medicine called Ayurvedic medicine, and also Chinese medicine. It's also based upon the chakra system. So in order to really understand the chakras, probably an Ayurvedic doctor would be somebody who could really understand the system. Or a Chinese medical doctor, they're also very familiar with the system.
Well, yeah, they're addressing the changes in the physical body through the energy that they're perceiving, right?
That's correct, yeah.
It's a very different way of working with people and the illnesses that they come with. So, yeah, I prefer that approach, actually, and I find it fascinating, but it takes a real sage to, I think, be able to do that and carry all that ancient knowledge, because you're right, this is ancient. Ayurvedic medicine is how many thousands and thousands of years old?
And Chinese medicine also, yeah. So the thing is, you don't have to be a great sage or saint to be able to be an Ayurvedic doctor. You just have to have a lot of knowledge that comes from working with the subtle energies and so on. And many people have that knowledge, and they're very good with it, There's many acupuncturists, there's many Ayurvedic doctors, and so on. So, I can't answer
there's a lot to it. I mean, I understand what you're saying. There's just a tremendous amount. Now, here's another question for you, Susan. Since everything is so interconnected, and a lot of people today do have health problems, no question about that. I've heard a lot of stories that some people actually have had healings take place when their third eye is opened.
That's great.
So that is a possibility then. That can happen.
Anything can happen. I mean, I'm glad to hear that can happen. That sounds wonderful. I mean, the third eye opening is usually more associated with subtle experiences and spiritual awakening. But if it also can perform a physical healing, yay, I'm all for it.
Because you're talking also about, in the book, Kundalini energy, the coiled serpent at the base of the spine. There's so much power in them. And that's like a nuclear power, isn't it? I mean, it's huge what that serpent at the base of the spine is capable of. Can you talk a little bit about that so people can understand the power of Kundalini and what it does?
Okay, great. So Kundal is a Sanskrit word. It means coiled up or curled up. So it's curled up energy that's at the base of your spine in your first chakra, also known as the Muladhara chakra. And that's at the area of your tailbone. And it is that chakra is associated with your illumination system. And the Kundalini is it's a type of pranic energy, that life force energy that I was referring to before. It's actually just prana is what Kundalini is. But it's a specific kind of energy that only flows through, if it's flowing in the proper place, it only flows to Shumna Nadi, which is one of your energy conduits. That particular energy conduit flows through the center of your spinal cord, all the way from the tailbone all the way up to the third eye area. So, and it even goes above there. But the Kundalini energy actually goes above there, but the Sushumna Nadi, that particular conduit of energy, runs from the tailbone area through the center of the spinal canal up to the third eye area, which is located in the pineal gland area. So in people who are very materialistic, whose only focus in life is to eat, drink, and have sex, their Kundalini is just as coiled up or curled up, and it's asleep in that chakra, in that lower base, the base chakra is called. And those who have some interest in intellectual pursuits, who are interested in maybe higher learning, or they're interested in artistic endeavors, anything that's a higher endeavor, shall we say, or even religion, their Kundalini, that indicates that their Kundalini has risen to some degree. And how it happens that the Kundalini rises is that Sushumna Nadi is usually closed on the lower end, completely closed, and nothing flows through it. But people who start to do spiritual practices, that forces the lower end of the Sushumna Nadi to, Kundalini starts to flow through it, and then it flows up through the spine all the way to the top of the head eventually. But it starts flowing up that spine, that area. It's not in your physical body, though. Please remember that all these things I'm talking about, the third eye, the chakras, the nadis, the meridians, everything, all of that is in your subtle body. It's in your pranic body or energy body, otherwise known as your pranamaya kosha. It's not in your gross physical body. If you were to dissect a corpse, you would not find a nadi or a chakra or a third eye anywhere.
So, in, again, Awakening Kundalini, that's a powerful force. Again, we're not talking about a physical force, although it can have a physical effect. I remember we had a lovely guest on, and she had a spontaneous Kundalini experience, and it was so powerful, but she said it was uncomfortable as all get out because she felt like her blood was on fire for like 3 days. And eventually everything calmed down, and she was able to function again. But she developed this talent of being able to call forth Kundalini energy with other people. But it was startling to her. It was not something, again, that she trained for. So there was some discomfort with it.
Yeah, a lot of discomfort that comes from spiritual experiences is due to not understanding what's going on, not having the knowledge. And if somebody really doesn't even has never heard of Kundalini, and they start to have these weird experiences, then they actually get very frightened. They end up going to the psychiatrist who gives them drugs, and that of course inhibits their spiritual experiences, but there's no longer uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so these so-called spontaneous Kundalini experiences, if you don't have the knowledge to back that up, it can be extremely frightening.
And yes, it can. I know she talked about it at length of how disturbed she was by what she was feeling. Again, it took about 3 days, she said, and then everything started to balance out. So she was lucky that she found her grounding and didn't have to make a trip to the mental hospital and and discover this talent in the meantime. So, but again, what I love about your book, Susan, is you give simple explanations to all of this and simple exercises that people can do for all kinds of things. You also talk quite a lot about yoga, and I was wondering if you could share a little bit of information about your perceptions of yoga with our audience tonight.
Okay, the word yoga is a Sanskrit word, and it means to yoke or to bind. In fact, it means the same thing that religion means. Religion also comes from a root that means to yoke or to bind. So what is it that we're binding? We're binding the individual spirit with the universal spirit. Experience of yoga is the experience of universal consciousness. And in the ancient scriptures of India, and the word yoga and all practices of yoga come from India. So in one of the ancient scriptures called the Bhagavad Gita, which is probably the most popular and most profound scripture known in India, Lord Krishna, who's the incarnation of God, he is telling his disciple about yoga and what yoga is and how you can attain yoga. And then also there's another scripture called the Yoga Sutras, written by Patanjali, and that was written much later. But that book also talks about yoga and how to attain it. Now, in my book, Awaken Your Third Eye, I have several yoga practices that are taught in that book, including the key to the Yoga Sutras, which are very esoteric scriptures. The Yoga Sutras are impossible for people to understand or to be able to use in a practical way. But I actually teach people how to do that in one of the chapters of my book, Awaken Your Third Eye. I'm just going to look in the contents and tell you which chapter that is, where I teach you how to awaken your third eye through using the Yoga Sutras. And it's called The Seat of the Siddhi is the name of the chapter. Siddhi is also a Sanskrit word that means perfection. It also could be translated as supernormal powers or subtle sensory perceptions and so on. So I do give you the key of how to use these Yoga Sutras, which you're not going to find anywhere else. There's no book that's written that tells you about that.
Yeah,
and then
that's another reason to get this book. Again, great
Definitely.
information that hasn't been reported before.
Right, and I also teach other very, very powerful yoga practices that are particularly powerful for awakening your third eye, including yoga asanas, which are the postures. And one of them, for example, the shoulder stand is very good for that, the plow, and several others that I talk about. And then the pranayama, meaning the breathing exercises, specific kind of yogic breathing exercises that are very helpful for opening your third eye. I teach that. Also the bandhas. Bandha means muscular lock. There's specific muscular locks that will help you to awaken the Kundalini specifically. Very, very powerful for awakening the Kundalini and for opening the third eye. And then there is also the mudras, which are specific ways of so it literally translates as gestures. There's specific motions that you take your body, put your body in certain positions that help you to awaken your third eye specifically. And also I teach yogic practices such as pratitya meditation, which is the gazing meditation, where you're gazing at, for example, a candle, or doing mirror gazing, or gazing at the horizon or the sun or the sky or a star or the moon, something like that. I teach that in the book. I also teach the microcosmic orbit. That's the Taoist practice, which is very powerful for awakening your third eye as well, and for also awakening many other of the what might be called acupuncture or acupressure points in the body. So there's so many practices in this book that people can learn. It's a very
and there's a lot of them are pretty easy to do. I mean, many of them are, which is so great.
Maximum courses altogether. I mean, you could go from one to the other. What you can learn from this is just astronomical. It's a feel-good because you realize that there's opportunity and possibilities even for someone that isn't as well-versed as Dr. Susan is.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Susan, you talk about the secret in this, that you can ask for help. You can ask entities that have your best interest at heart to come and help you, and you'll get help.
Yes, you can call upon divine beings at any time, and they will help you with anything. Physical, mental, spiritual, emotional problems, no matter what you have, or especially if you want to have spiritual experiences, it works really well, very quickly, instantaneous.
Now, one of the things that I saw you were teaching people as a part of, just, again, you're here to help us, and you're so committed to helping all of us, and I so appreciate that. I was watching you give a little talk about vision boards. Now, do you recommend that with opening your third eye? Is that something that you would suggest maybe people do to keep a focus on this?
Well, the vision board is not so much about opening the third eye specifically, but what it's about is the power of intention. It's about manifestation. So if you make a vision board, that shows some of your desires and wishes, the things that you will accomplish in your life, or you could do different vision boards about different areas of your life, material goals, spiritual goals, physical goals, relationship goals, whatever it is that you want to manifest in your life, and kind of plaster these in various places in your house. Unconsciously, your subconscious mind is going to see those on a daily basis, and it helps you to keep your goals in focus. It helps you in order to manifest your intentions and goals. I've written a couple books about that, about manifesting your goals and wishes. One of them is called Miracle Prayer, and another one is called Instant Healing. And both of those books are extremely powerful, really great books about your ability to manifest what you desire in your life, what your true desires, your heartfelt desires are in your life, and also to change conditions in your life and to heal yourself.
So
if
you wanted to do a vision board to, again, it's mainly to help you achieve your goals and remind your unconscious to keep a focus on this, to bring it to fruition. But actually one of your goals might be, I want to open my third eye. That's something that I'd like to have happen. So that could be on the vision board, right?
Sure, you can do a vision board about opening your third eye or about any aspect of your spiritual development. You can now how you do a vision board is you just take a big piece of cardboard. You can even do it on the computer if you want. You can make a screen, make your desktop screen your vision board if you wanted. But,
what a great idea.
Yeah.
Fabulous idea.
In a more low-tech way, you just take a big piece of cardboard and you get a stack of magazines and you just start to thumb through the magazines and you cut out pictures of things that relate to your goal, and then you plaster them up on that piece of cardboard, and you can put some words up there too. That also helps too. Maybe some words or affirmations you can go up on the board. And you just stick it up on the wall or on a mirror or wherever you often walk by, and you'll start to manifest those things as long as you keep your focus and intention on them, and as long as you do the work. It isn't enough to just create the board. You have to actually do the action in order to manifest anything in your life.
It's a great exercise, and again, like you said, it can apply to your spiritual practice as well as, it doesn't have to be just all material stuff that you want. It can also include your spiritual goals.
Yeah, I have one on my refrigerator right now that's about my health, and it's a really nice board. I get it all the time because it's on my refrigerator, so it's great.
Yeah, that works.
Apropos that works for our health, the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I need to do something like that to keep my hands away from things that I shouldn't be eating.
Well, we've got a question. I'm going to bring this lady on the air. This is Rebecca. She has a question to ask you, Susan, about dyslexia blocks. So I'm going to bring her on the air so you two can talk about this. And Rebecca, welcome to the show. You have a question for Susan?
Hi, Patricia. Thank you. Susan, I have dyslexia. Okay, I didn't discover it till long after I had my own kids. I had a rough time in school. I learned by listening. Okay, I don't do any drugs. I do not smoke. I don't drink. Okay, I meditate daily. Keeping and I used to breathe very shallowly, but I've learned to deep breathe and pull myself down. But I do get distractions. Any kind of a noise can pop me out of it. And I'm wondering if a dyslexia could be a block. Now, I know that I dream vivid color. I dream a lot. I write my dreams down. I do a lot. So I'm going to hush and listen to what you have to say, what you think.
Okay. So dyslexia is no a block to spiritual development whatsoever. But I'm going to give you something that's going to help you with your dyslexia. Have you ever heard of something called brain gym?
No.
Okay, it's also known as Educate, but now it's known as brain gym. And in my book, The Power of Auras, I do teach some brain gym exercises, but I don't have all the exercises in that book. You can just get the brain gym book or brain gym books and start doing those practices. They're very simple movements, very simple physical movements that you can do that are going to help you with dyslexia. It also helps with ADHD. It helps with any kind of attention disorders or brain gym it's called. So actually I do sell the brain gym books on my website at drsusan.org, but you can get them a lot faster by just going to Amazon and getting the brain gym books and start doing the exercises. And maybe they even teach the exercises somewhere online, I don't know. I sell the books and I teach people the exercises, and they're very powerful. And if you do that before you meditate, this will be for everybody and anybody. If you practice the brain gym exercises before you meditate, you'll have better meditation, deeper meditation. And you won't be as distracted. You'll just be able to have much better meditations, because what that does, that brain gym, it clears out your energy field as well as integrating your brain functioning. And that's what you need for dyslexia, to be able to have integrated brain functioning. Your brain, the different hemispheres be integrated. So,
wow. Okay, and you're saying brain dim? What's
M?
How are you spelling that? GYM? Brain gym?
Yes.
GYM.
Oh, okay. Brain
like
gym.
Go to the gym to work out. It's a workout for your brain.
Oh,
cool.
That sounds fabulous.
That's awesome.
And I keep rereading the same things over and over because I'm having a hard time focusing at times.
That's exactly what I do too, Patricia. Yeah.
You all need to use brain gym. It's really powerful. I'm telling you, it works. And it's very simple. These exercises are so simple, and they really work.
Well, I order as soon as we're offline. I'm going to your site and getting one.
Really? Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Actually, you'll get them a lot faster, and they'll be cheaper if you get them on Amazon.com. Okay. It's not that I don't want to have orders or I don't want commerce, but I have your best interest at heart.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
They're cheaper, and you'll get them faster.
Well, and you're teaching us all the time, whether in the book or out of the book or to get the book.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I've been working at my opening my psychic senses and all that. But I do get this distraction when I'm meditating, and it's very difficult. So I'm going to do that. I really am. And thank you so much, so much. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for your call, Rebecca.
Thank you. Thanks, Patricia.
You know, it's so many things are available to us that we just don't think until we have this wonderful discussion with you, Susan. It's just opened so many different thoughts in my mind. I'm going, I think I can do this. That's a plus for me.
True.
See, you're creating these third eye awakened cyclops here. We are going for it.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
We're going to do it. And again, there's so many benefits to this, as you outline in the book. So many benefits to having your third eye open. And from what I understand from what you've written, and it's about really connecting with the matrix of higher consciousness of the real, original spiritual energy. And it's like you have one choice or another. Are you going to connect with something larger than yourself? Or are you going to connect with just the same old ego, drama, pain, and suffering? That seems like the choice.
We do have a choice in any given moment of on what level of consciousness we want to be. Do we want to be the drama queen? Do we want to feel out of sorts? angry, pissed off. I mean, how do we want to conduct ourselves in any given moment? Or do we want to just take a moment, take a few deep breaths, get centered maybe, and go into a state where we are connected to spirit again, where we reconnect with spirit? And there's so many ways to do that, through prayer, through meditation, through affirming, through doing some brain gym. There's a lot of ways that you can reconnect to center, even doing some exercises, like yoga exercises or whatever. You're just going to feel better. So why not? Why not feel better? Why do you have to walk around being upset and making yourself sick? You could actually make yourself physically ill from all of it, of the stress.
Oh, easily.
So why not sometimes to get quiet and to heal yourself and get better? I think it makes sense.
It does absolutely make sense. And, if you would, too, there was your book is so wonderful, but this part was really brilliant, and it touched me. If you could share with people about the Star of Bethlehem. I mean, you have a wonderful breakdown of what all that really means. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that to our audience? I know everybody would just go nuts over that.
Okay, so more than 20 times brighter than our physical sun is Sirius. Sirius is known as the dog star. It's the brightest star in the sky. And long ago, in ancient times, Sirius was of supreme importance to astronomy, mythology, and occult practices and so on. So it was thought of as being the sun behind the sun and the true source of our sun's potency. It was considered the light that keeps the spiritual realm alive and the true light shining in the east, the spiritual light. And it is associated with our third eye in the pineal gland, which is the source of spiritual light in the body. And its true meaning is the eye of wisdom, the third eye, that all of us can awaken. So it is considered the home of the spiritual hierarchy, divine beings of light and ascended masters, and the star is the central focus of many of the esoteric orders, like Hermetic orders, and secret societies. And in Masonry, it's known as the blazing star. And it's the first and most exalted object, according to the Masons, the first and most exalted object that demands our attention in the lodge. So it is a symbol of the omniscient creator. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, no. But also, you talk about with the Star of Bethlehem, you also talk about the two liquids that combine and how that also then travels down to the pancreatic line. I mean, there's this whole physiological thing that happens it really transforms us. It's energetic, but it's more than energetic, isn't it?
Yeah, you're talking about the elixir, the nectar.
Yes.
What you're speaking of, and you're speaking of the fact that we are producing this nectar of immortality within our own brains in the area of the pineal gland. And this is something that has been known to the ancients, that in fact, soma, or whatever you want to call it, this nectar of the gods, is not something that you're going to find in a plant. It actually is in our own human internal plant that we are creating this. And in India, they have a specific practice called Kechari Mudra, in which you roll the tongue back to the roof of the mouth, and that is one of the practices that I do teach in the book, Awaken Your Third Eye, that can help you to stimulate the production of the soma, or this nectar that comes from that area of the third eye. And it's very powerful. It's a nectar of immortal life. And
because some people have referred to it as that is the philosopher's stone. I mean, that is what people aspire to who are alchemists and certainly spiritual teachers and, like you mentioned, ascended masters can achieve that state. I mean, it can actually slow down, if not stop, the aging process.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And the yogis know about these secrets. And some of these secret yoga practices I do teach in the book, Awaken Your Third Eye. So.
Well, this is going to be my mission, Patricia. What do you think? We got to do this. We're going to slow down the aging process.
Bible. It's going to become my new Bible because it really has so much information. Yeah.
It's so much to do. And again, the name of the book is Awaken Your Third Eye, How Accessing Your Sixth Sense Can Help You Find Knowledge, Illumination, and Intuition by Dr. Susan Shumsky, one of many great books by Susan. And again, there's a lot of things that you and I, Patricia, we can do them immediately. We can do them when we get off the show tonight, and we can start meditating differently, asking for help, calling upon our deities to help us to resolve any of these issues and to open the third eye. I would love to have that experience, wouldn't you, of having
definitely.
That wide open and, oh my God, the milk and honey, the elixirs of the God. We got to experience that. Why
not? To know that we can ask for assistance, which is something that we never thought about before.
Mm-hmm.
That Absolutely. Is fabulous. Doesn't have to be alone.
Right.
Yeah, we need help.
Oh God, for sure.
Place in the book where it talks about him and all that. So it has to do with Kundalini moving through the Sushumna Nadi, as I described, and neutralizing the polarizing effects of these two other nadis that travel along with it up the spine. And when that Kundalini energy reaches the head, it stimulates the pineal and pituitary glands to secrete certain hormones. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about the nectar of immortality. The pineal secretes a white, milky fluid. The pituitary secretes a yellowish, creamy fluid. When the two fluids meet, there is a flash of light so bright that the third eye, or Star of Bethlehem, opens. So the third eye is sometimes thought of as the Star of Bethlehem. Then the two fluids, known as the land of milk and honey in biblical terms, begin to flow down the pancreatic nerve, otherwise known as the Holy River of Jordan, to the third energy center, which is the navel center, navel chakra, which is known as the manger, where Christ consciousness is born within you. This potent state of consciousness illumines your entire body. Light energy is lifted to the top of the head, where you unite with God. I and the Father are one.
I love that.
Fabulous.
I love that part of the book. I mean, I had to stop after I read that and really let that sink in. There is so much about what you've written there. You've exposed a lot of the symbolism that's been, a lot of things have been hidden from us, let's face it. And here you brought it all out and made sense of it, said here's what's really going on. And again, it's been a mystery for many of us for thousands of years. I mean, let's talk about it in ancient Egypt. There's the sacred eye. What did it really mean? And here we're talking about it with you. This is how to open your third eye. I'm going to do these exercises. I am going to do them. How about you, Patricia?
Two of us. There's going to be two of us doing them. That is for sure.
Okay, and then we'll compare notes, and then we'll come back on the air, and we're going to tell everybody if we got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Did we get it? You're going to hear it here first.
Susan, you can't snicker, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to work on it.
That's right. We're going to do the best we can. But again, this is a great book, everybody. And Susan, thank you so much for coming on the show with us tonight and sharing the wealth of information that you have on this and so many subjects. Again, this is one of many books that you've written, and they're all available on Amazon.com. And the name of this book is Awaken Your Third Eye. Patricia and I give it a gold star. We highly recommend this book to you guys. If you're on a spiritual path and you want to open your third eye and get in touch with these other realms, here's the way to do it. It's safe. They're easy to do exercises, and Susan is available to you at her website. And Susan, would you tell us again your website?
The website, I have two different ones that are important, drsusan.org, drsusan.org, and also divinetravels.com. That's DIVINETRAVELS.com. So I suggest you subscribe at both of those, because then you'll be notified of various things, free things, also events, and just a whole lot of stuff.
That sounds fabulous. What a wealth of information you are, Susan.
Yes.
Well, thanks.
Yes,
joy
thank
and pleasure.
you. Oh, good. Well, thank you so much. And I know you'll be writing more books, so I hope you will come back on the show and, again, continue to share all your great knowledge with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I had a wonderful time. It was great fun. I love you guys are fantastic hosts, and I really enjoyed all your questions. Very insightful. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Susan. Good luck with everything, and we'll definitely stay in touch with you. Let you know of our next adventures with the third eye. So we're ready. Thank you. You got us all fired up on this one.
Sure.
So everybody, we will be back next week. We're going to have a discussion about the mysteries of blood. And this is another great topic. We're going to hear all about this next week. There's a gentleman who's written a book about it, and he's calling us from Europe. So be sure to tune in. Everybody have a wonderful and safe week, and we will see you on the Blue Highway. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with Super